If you are listening to this podcast, it means you're searching for someone who understands you, someone who gets you. You are yearning to be understood and to belong. Welcome to the Someone Gets Me podcast, where we help smart, talented, and sensitive people navigate an often insensitive world. I am Dianne A, your host. My roles as ambassador, author, speaker, and intuitive mentor for bright and talented people are woven into each episode. I have the experience and knowledge to educate and inspire, as I have been there and I understand your unique intensities, sensitivities, and challenges. Welcome. New year, new insights. Hi friends, it's Dianne here at Someone Gets Me for the last recording of 2024. It's been an amazing year, and I've looked back on lots of the topics and requests and episodes that we have created here together, and I trust that you have enjoyed them and are getting a lot of good reminders and information. And so I want to talk about today's episode being about insight and having new insights. I mean, so often at the beginning of anything, like I do New Year kind of like on my birthday. So that's my new year. And some people do it on December 31st, January 1st, and other people pick other days. And then, of course, we can start anything over whenever we want all the time. And so I think what's most important when we're starting things new is to pay attention to new insights, new awarenesses, new ways of seeing things. Because after all, every day we're different and we're always evolving and we're always changing. So when we really look at it, we're new every day. And so how are you developing new insights? How are you paying attention to them? Are you writing down your inspired ideas? Are you journaling? You know, I looked back the last few days on my journal from this year, and I sometimes go back a little further, and I was reminded of things and awarenesses I had that I forgot I had. They've become so part of my everyday life that I forgot that they were just in this past year, that they're that new. And so it's important to pay attention to documenting our life, to understanding all of our insights, our awarenesses, and how we are incorporating them and integrating them into our world. Because so often we can have that aha moment or that epiphany and do nothing with it. And multi-potentialite gifted people often will give themselves credit for doing something with it when really it stayed in their head as a good idea. So it's so important not to end up in that kind of, I'm just going to give myself credit for it mentally and not do something with whatever the it is, and to begin to take action and pay attention to how we can take insights and take them forward into this new year. So actually what ends up happening is the whole year on some level keeps feeling new on different levels. Like I love it because I start out in January a lot since it's, shorter daylight days and a little colder, and I'm more of a summer warm person. I spend maybe more time meditating and inside than I do in the summer when I'm outside in the sun in the longer daylight time. And so there's different seasons. There are ways of growing and evolving and coming up with how we want to create our world that go with how our seasons go or how we resonate best. And so notice how you change through the day and how you change through the week or the month or the year. Do the seasons affect you? Do you notice them? There's all these things that add such excitement to a new project or a new year. One of the things I ask myself a lot is, how can I love myself more? How can I love my body more? How can I love my emotions or my mind? How can I love my quirkiness? I've had a lot of awareness this year personally about the consequences of being a neurodivergent person in a world that doesn't understand us, even more deeply than I already understood in my mind. I've been feeling it more in my soul and in my emotions. So there's always a new way to examine or look at, and most importantly, experience our lives. After all, that's how we transform. We transform and we grow through experience and feeling things and having a visceral experience. So if you're walking around with everything in your head as good ideas and you have the right vocabulary, well, that's a good start. But that's not it. That's like getting the ticket to the movie, but walking down the street and not going in the movie. So we want to go in the movie. We want to be part of our lives in a way that's beautiful and wonderful. And my dog is wanting to bark at something, so you're just going to have to be patient with her for a minute. She usually doesn't do that. Anyway, so back now, we want to notice how we change through the day. Like for me, I'm real creative in the morning, and as the day goes on, less creative. I still have creativity, but it's different than in the morning. So how about you? When's your creative time? Do you stay up late, get up early? How does it work? So as you launch into this new year, pay attention to these things. And I want you to practice honoring them. Rather than trying to fit yourself into a mold that is not you, honor you. Know that there's many people in the world who have a similar understanding and a similar pattern to yours. So if you look around and there's not very many people around you currently, maybe, that have a similar pattern or similar understanding, that's okay. You don't throw them out of your life necessarily. What you do, though, is you start seeking people who do understand, who are able to meet you where you are. Being neurodivergent, being a business owner, having to make many decisions all the time, clear boundaries and communication is essential. And I sometimes fall down and sometimes other people fall down. It's not the end of the world, but it's feedback and input to make sure that we're regulating our emotions, that we're paying attention to ourselves, and that we're doing what's for the highest good of all concerned. So as you launch into this new year, I want you to take a really big, deep breath. And just let it out. Let out all the stuff that's going on in the external world. Just exhale, drop your shoulders, relax your jaw. Let yourself just let it all go for a minute. Right here with me, hanging out. Allow yourself to now feel your own heartbeat, to feel your own lungs breathing you. And remind yourself that you're perfect and beautiful and lovable and capable exactly as you are. That every bit of your quirkiness, every bit of your intelligence, your sensitivity, your neurodivergence, none of it is an accident. It is all a perfect combination, uniquely yours, to bring your unique gift, your unique presence to a world. Now we know that the world often is not very understanding, and it's really hard to have all of these differences. It's difficult to live in a neurodivergent world, life in a world that doesn't accept it very much. So thankfully, there's more and more people talking, and there's more and more awareness. But in the meantime, go within and remind yourself that you're perfect, you are whole, and you are complete, exactly as you are. What if you remembered that every day? What if every day when you woke up, you reminded yourself that you're perfect and whole and complete, and that you're beautiful, you're lovable, you're capable, and that all of the differences in you come together to make a perfect you? What if we reminded ourselves of that? What if we reminded ourselves that there's no accident that we're here right now? There's no accident that I'm sharing this with you, and there's no accident that you're hearing it. Sometimes when we slow down a little bit and we realize that all of our worlds are coming together in a way that has great meaning, even when we cannot see it in the moment. I think especially when we can't see it in the moment. It's those moments, it's those times when I just look with awe, like I do at a full moon or at a beautiful sunrise or sunset, that the power of our universe, the elegance, the power, the authority of our universe, how it all rolls, how everything happens without our getting in the middle of it. In fact, sometimes I think when us humans get involved, we can mess it up because there's so much beauty that we can't see. And we tend to try to control or manipulate the outcome when really everything's working perfectly. We don't have to get in the middle of it and make a big mess. In fact, when we get in the middle of it and we make a big mess, some people blame others. And really, I think, well, who was the one who got in the middle of it and made the big mess? Anyway, I digress. Sometimes I kind of laugh because my little quirky brain, it will do those kinds of things. It'll go off on little stories and it'll go off and be doing something while I'm doing something else. You all know what I'm talking about. Having almost like a committee in our head that has things to say and do and be and things that are important. And so this is New Year's. This is a time to come apart for a while from the noise of the world, to go within our own being, breathing fully and appreciating who we are, loving our body, emerging after this time with clearer boundaries, with self-respect, standing in our authority, allowing ourselves to engage with the things that serve us, and then, of course, to be of service to others. Reminding ourselves that day to day we are different and we're changing. So it's important in these times to not get too anchored into the old way, because that old way, whether it's from last year or last week or your grandmother, any of those old ways could easily be leaving right now because maybe they're old. Maybe there's new trying to emerge through you into the world. Maybe you are the torchbearer for something magnificent. And so in order to do that, we step aside and allow the old to lovingly be released. It's not about condemning or blaming or being upset. It's about realizing that to everything there's a season and a time. And sometimes it's time to let go of the old so the new can emerge. Sometimes it's like our teeth, right? Baby teeth have to fall out. They have to go away because their purpose is done and it's time for the permanent teeth. It's the same idea. So as you celebrate, whether you're listening to this on New Year's or close to it or shortly after, every day is a New Year day. Every moment is new because we're new with every breath. We have new insights and we have new awarenesses. So I invite you to grab yourself a really great journal and a pen you love to write with, or a really cool keyboard and computer if you want to do that, or your iPad, right? Find a way that's comfortable, that's fun, that you love to document your insights. It doesn't have to be like a long journaling thing. You can do that too, but document your insights as you go. And then next year, check it out. I found very many things that I had an insight about and I did nothing with. And mostly I had insights about things, incorporated them into my life. And now they seem like they've been there forever, but really they're quite new. So every day you're changing, every day you're gaining insight and awareness. So as I learned from a Tony Robbins conference a long time ago, before he was as famous as he is now, he said, if your life is worth living, it's worth recording. So record your insights and give yourself permission to make them real by writing them down in a way that works for you. And as always, you can contact me through my website or through my email in the show notes so that we can connect and talk more about these topics or anything you want to talk about. I've had lots of calls recently from people asking questions about different episodes I've had recently, and every one of the calls has been amazing and really fulfilling for both of us. And that's my point. That's my purpose, is to help be that catalyst, that light in the world that helps remind you who you are. You are, in fact, perfect, whole, and complete to do the mighty work that ought to be done by you and you alone. So whenever you're wondering if you're the one, the answer is yes. If you're ever wondering if your heart's desire is meant for you, remember it was not a conference call. The answer is yes. So feel free to reach out to me and we can have a conversation about it, and that would be really fun. But always know that here, myself personally, and the Someone Gets Me world, we are here for you. So join us on Facebook and in our group, or any way that you can find us. We're going to be doing a retreat soon, and we will have time to come together and share our great insights. So until the next episode of Someone Gets Me, remember to keep your face to the sun so the shadows fall behind you, because you are a rock star. You're here on purpose with a mighty purpose. And so go out there, record your insights, pay attention to the greatness of who you are. And remember, you're beautiful, lovable, and capable. Until the next episode of Someone Gets Me, this is Dianne saying, be well. Are you tired of searching for someone to understand you? Join our Facebook group, Someone Gets Me. In this group, you will be able to connect with others who are intense, sensitive, smart, and talented. I share my insights and teachings, and you can connect with others in a real, authentic, safe forum. So join us today. Someone Gets Me.